Dear Nintendo, it's time you and I have a little talk. Now, I genuinely, sincerely love the Nintendo Switch. I love practically everything about it. In fact, coming up with something to complain about on the Switch is almost a hard task. And it's certainly not enjoyable, considering that I want nothing but success for this platform, because it means me, as a Switch owner, are going to get more games that I probably want to play. But we need to talk about two specific things today that I really want you guys to think long and hard about. And maybe even several Switch owners out there maybe should think about this as well. So, for those who haven't heard, with the 5.0.0 update, third-party docks are bricking Nintendo Switch systems. Now, you might think I'm going to turn this into talking about the fact that there are no way to back up saves on the Switch, and that is an issue, but it is one we have addressed many times in the past, so I'm not going to retread that ground today. But Nintendo, if you are listening to this, if anyone from Nintendo is watching this video, please address the fact that there is no way to back up saves. But no, the reason we're talking about the bricked situation is because Nintendo finally released an official statement on these docks and peripherals and stuff, bricking Nintendo Switch systems. And they issued it to Kotaku, and this is their official response. It says, Nintendo has issued a statement to Kotaku recommending that Switch owners only buy officially licensed Switch products, adding, unlicensed products and accessories do not undergo Nintendo's testing and evaluation process. They might not work at all with our game systems, and they could have compatibility problems with certain games, the Nintendo Switch system itself, or other licensed accessories and peripherals. Reached by email, a Nyko representative told Kotaku that the company is aware of the issue some portable docking kit owners are facing after updating the firmware on their Nintendo Switch to version 5.0. Though further testing is still required to determine the exact root cause of the problem, we believe it is related to the way the Switch handles AV output for an external TV/monitor while the console is docked on the portable docking kit. Nyko says it is working on a solution and has policies on replacing malfunctioning products. Now, I'm not here to tell you that you should be buying unlicensed products. Obviously, anytime you use an unlicensed product, you are taking a risk with your hardware. We know this with phones, right? Except the risk with phones is always weird because when you buy those like third-party lightning cords, right, for iPhones and stuff like that, if it doesn't work, the official cord still works. Whereas in this case, if you buy third-party USB-C cords for the Switch, it might actually damage the Switch. It's very weird that this USB-C port seems to be so finicky. But it's also one of the most functional and easy to work with ports in the market for multiple needs. Now, that being said, why am I talking to Nintendo here instead of talking to Nyko and other companies and asking them to maybe just stop releasing these products? It is because Nintendo is ignoring, quite purposely so, why these products exist in the marketplace. Obviously, for the companies making them, it's to make money. But they exist in the marketplace because Nintendo Switch's dock is $90. And people want extra docks. When they buy the Switch and they have that single dock, they want one to take with them on the go while not having to unhook the one they have at home. They want one for multiple TVs in their house. Personally, I have one wall-mounted in my office, and then I also want one to put out on my big 4K TV out in the man cave, and then I also would like one when I want to play with my kids upstairs in the living room TV. And heck, while we're at it, why not toss one in my bedroom too if I can afford it? But here's the problem. To do that, it's going to cost me nearly $300. And, maybe even it will cost $300 after taxes. It's too expensive for what it is. And we have called Nintendo out on this, over a year ago at this point, where we mentioned the peripherals were getting a little too expensive overall, even if there's something like, I think the Pro Controller is a lot more justifiable at $70 than the Switch dock is at $90. Now, I'm aware there was a recent sale at a major retailer that was selling the Switch dock for $60, but I even think $60 is asking too much. I mean, think about it. A wall outlet power cord from Nintendo to officially charge your Switch, whether it is with the dock or just directly plugged in, is $30. $30. So Nintendo, you have kind of created this problem. You have created the need or the desire or the willingness for us Switch owners to use third-party products that are not licensed. So we're not talking about like the Power A controllers that have Nintendo characters on them and are clearly licensed by Nintendo and say so on the box. No, we're talking about things like docks. We're talking about things like the portable little dongles and stuff like that. We're talking about Hori releasing a Joy-Con with a D-pad on it. We're talking about the fact here that Nintendo is either A, not providing the product in the case of the D-pad itself, or B, they are creating a desire for these cheaper peripherals. Now, here's the thing. We always want things cheaper. But if Nintendo was offering the Switch dock, an extra Switch dock at anywhere, you know, let's just say $40. If they charged $40 for new Switch docks, guess what? People wouldn't have to go pick up those dang peripherals. Well, they're not going to, because the Switch docks come with a $30 charging cable, come with an HDMI cable, even though it has been proven through third-party peripherals that to just make a pure system that does what it does, it's not that expensive. Nintendo does not need to be charging $90. $90 is a ridiculous ask for what the board is, and it doesn't even include localized Ethernet, which is something you can find docks for much cheaper that do. So my thing with this, and this is just one part of my dear Nintendo here, is that I'm not going to say go out and buy third-party peripherals. I have a dongle. I haven't had an issue with my dongle yet. It is the SwitchCon dongle. But it's still one of those things where I'm not going to tell you that you should be taking that risk, because Nintendo might purposely be updating their firmware to change up power deliveries in order to make people not trust these official products and sell more of their official products. And I'm not accusing Nintendo of purposely trying to brick your Switch, but what I'm saying is Nintendo clearly, with this statement, does not want anybody touching third-party peripherals, but they refuse to deal with why people want to buy those peripherals in the first place. It's because in the case of the dock, the official offerings are way too expensive, or in the case of Hori making a D-pad Joy-Con, because Nintendo refuses to make a Joy-Con with a D-pad as an option to buy in the market. So, at this point, we have to realize, or Nintendo has to realize anyways, why these products exist and why Nintendo needs to address the pricing issue they have, specifically with the dock, more than anything else. I wouldn't mind seeing the Joy-Con prices come down a little bit as well. If they could get the Joy-Con prices down $10 and take the Pro Controller prices down $10, and I understand I'm asking for a big drop in $50 on the dock, but it's already been proven that they can make that dock for that price, and that it's just massively overcharging consumers. And if it's not overcharging consumers, then Nintendo needs to get new manufacturers, because that is an absolutely ridiculous price they are paying for that not to be made. That being said, the other thing I want to talk about, the other important factor to touch on before we end this open letter to Nintendo, is storage. Now, I'm going to make a whole separate video on this, but Nintendo has been recently boasting about how the Switch is the first system where third-party companies are selling more games digitally than physically. And while I'm not going to dive too much deeper, I just want to tell you, Nintendo, that as a digital purchaser, I have like 20-something digital games, a bunch of them, even of the AAA variety, that it has become too expensive for me to continue to buy digital games. And let me explain. I have bought, in the past, I bought two 32-gigabyte, I know, right, stupid, two 32-gigabyte micro SD cards. Pretend it's one 64-gigabyte. Then I had to buy a 128-gigabyte one because that wasn't enough. And then I combined them all together, and it's still not enough storage. So now I'm looking at a 256, but then I did the math on all of my digital purchases and realized 256 is not enough either. And a lot of this is alleviated. I'm not upset at you for allowing me to use micro SD cards, but some of this can be alleviated by you increasing the storage inside of the Switch itself. This holiday, there should be a version of the Switch that has at least 100 gigabytes of internal storage. I would prefer even more than that, but at least at 100, you ensure that no matter what game people buy with the Switch, they don't have to buy anything extra to play it. Now, setting that aside, I just think Nintendo is riding this massive wave of success, a well-deserved wave of success, but things aren't perfect. And as much as we praise Nintendo around here, this time I need to let Nintendo know, and anyone who doesn't realize these issues know, that things can be better. And Nintendo, I'm hoping to see you improve on things as we head further into 2018 and start talking about what possibly might happen in 2019. Anyways, folks, I am Nathaniel Rufflejans from Nintendo Prime, and if you like this video, this open letter to Nintendo, let me know down in the comments below. If you dislike it, also let me know why you dislike it. Hit that thumb up button. That helps get this video out to more people. And as it is, subscribe for more content, and I'll just catch you guys in the next one.
Yes.